Maxi. So, dear Minister, dear Melanie, it's a great pleasure to welcome you here in Larnaca, in Cyprus. Today I had the opportunity to assess our bilateral relations and as a starting point, have a common understanding that we share the same principles, the same values, guided by our respect for international law and our commitment to multilateralism. This is particularly important in times of turbulence and with the cycle of crisis that we are facing as we speak. We are meeting here at the Joint Rescue and Coordination Center. We just been to the Larnaca port. These are two facilities that are strategic for Cyprus' humanitarian role in the region. And it's also very important, this infrastructure, for the evacuations that we have been conducting throughout the year through the National Evacuation Scheme, STEA. First of all, on bilateral relations, next year we will be celebrating 65 years since the establishment of diplomatic relations, and we share the political will to enhance and deepen these relations in all of fronts: economy, trade, services, security, defense, gender equality, and marine emergency. In addition to that, I would like to express our gratitude for the principled position that Canada has been consistently keeping in relation to the Cyprus issue, and also in relation to the contribution that Canada has been having in relation to the UNFICYP in Cyprus. More than 30,000 servicemen and women have served here, and this is something for which we are extremely thankful. Second point about the Cyprus problem, which of course was discussed today, I would just like to reiterate our clear commitment to the process, the negotiating process, and our full support for the UN Secretary General's personal envoy. We are working with her, we'll continue to do so, and always within the framework of the UN Security Council resolution about the bizonal, bicommunal federation with political equality. Within that framework, we are fully committed, and nothing outside that framework can be an item of discussion for our side. We also discussed in detail the Cyprus Maritime Corridor, the Amalthea plan. We have explained the procedure, the whole process, the various steps, the various phases, and we are now at a very important point in time where the American construction outside Gaza is completed, and we are ready to utilize it and make the maximum possible use in order to have scaled and increased volumes of aid departing from Cyprus and going to Gaza. That is extremely important because the situation there is dramatic, the humanitarian needs are increasing, and we need to make sure that we are doing everything we can to try and resolve this extremely problematic situation. That, of course, is affected by a number of factors in relation to what is happening on the ground in Gaza. I would like to make a point as to our deep concern in relation to the impact of an operation in Rafah. This cannot happen or continue, as the consequences will be catastrophic and irreversible. So I call for full respect of international humanitarian law, the need to ensure the full functioning of the Rafah land crossing, and full respect for the sanctity of human lives. We call for maximum restraint and containment, and also we realize that a key component of any kind of arrangement is the immediate release of the hostages. Finally, we touched upon global issues like Ukraine, where we are reiterating our concerns over the continuation of Russia's war of aggression and reaffirming our firm commitment to the principled stance for respect of sovereignty, territorial integrity, and the independence of Ukraine. In this context, Cyprus welcomes the important joint Canada-Ukraine initiative, the International Coalition for the Return of Ukrainian Children. Thank you for extending an invitation to Cyprus Minister, and are looking at that with a positive disposition. Dear Melanie, once again, welcome to Cyprus. It's been a pleasure to have you here, and I thank you for the constructive discussions, and we'll continue our deliberations later on. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Konstantinos. It's really a pleasure to be here. Ça me fait grand plaisir d'être ici avec vous tous. You know, Konstantinos, the last time I was here was in 2003 because my best friend and flatmate, where I studied in England, was Cypriot. And, you know, a lot of things have happened since then. It's the first time I'm back. My understanding is the last time a foreign minister from Canada came was in 2013. So it makes you a very convincing foreign minister to be able to make sure that I was here. So thank you for extending the invitation, and thank you for your warm welcome. As you mentioned, Canada and Cyprus have a very strong relationship, a very strong friendship. And today, this year, is a very important year for us also because it's the 60th anniversary of Canada's participation in the UN peacekeeping force in Cyprus. Next year is their 65th anniversary when it comes to our diplomatic relation. Since 1964, more than 30,000 Canadians have served on peacekeeping operations, and many of them were also heads of mission of that UN peacekeeping force, and also special representative to the UN. So you can see there's a clear tradition of Canadians getting involved here to make sure that there is more peace and security for Cypriots. And this morning I had the opportunity to sit down with Colin Stewart, which is, again, a Canadian. He's the special representative and head of the UN peacekeeping mission in Cyprus. And we reaffirm Canada's commitment in advancing the political dialogue to make sure that there is peace and prosperity for Cypriots. And today, I have the pleasure to announce that Canada will contribute $100,000 US to support the peacekeeping mission. This is part of our commitment, ongoing commitment, to make sure that we can support the mission, support the UN's work, and support also your government. Et donc, dans le contexte du 60e anniversaire de la présence canadienne ici à Chypre, dans le cadre des efforts pour la mission de paix, nous annonçons aujourd'hui $100 000 américains pour soutenir la mission de paix ici à Chypre. And Cyprus continues to be a very reliable and constructive partner to Canada, and especially when it comes to safe repatriation of our citizens. You were there during the Israel-Hezbollah war in 2006. You were there following the fall of Kabul. You were there also when the war in Sudan started. Basically, you've been always there for us. So thank you again for your help from the bottom of my heart. And back in October, we were ready to evacuate Canadians here, and we remain ready to do so. Just now, I visited this incredible facility, and thank you to all Cypriots working here, because we believe in the work the Joint Rescue Coordination Center is doing, and a facility that helps Canada and also other countries in the event of an evacuation. Of course, my message is clear. If you are in Lebanon, it is time for you to leave. I've said that many times already since the Israel-Hamas war broke, since October 7th. There are still commercial flights available, so please do so. Comme je l'ai dit précédemment, si vous êtes un citoyen canadien au Liban, c'est maintenant le temps de revenir à la maison. J'ai mentionné ça depuis le 7 octobre dernier, depuis le début de la guerre Israël-Hamas. Et donc, puisqu'il y a encore des vols commerciaux disponibles, s'il vous plaît, revenez à la maison. Now, turning to the Middle East, Canada's position is clear. The violence must stop. We need a ceasefire now. Hostages must be released. We need to make sure that Hamas lay down its weapons, and also aid must get into Gaza. And to that extent, and as I mentioned to you, Konstantinos, Canada is extremely concerned by the catastrophic humanitarian situation that is prevailing in Gaza. And so we will continue to do everything possible to ensure life-saving relief reaches Palestinians in dire need. And we will support every single aid initiative possible. So may it be UNRWA, may it be the Red Cross, may it be the Red Crescent, may it be the World Food Program, and also we participate in Jordan's humanitarian airdrops. So therefore, thank you so much for the work you're doing and the leadership Cyprus is taking when it comes to the maritime corridor. We will support you. We will make sure that this is a success. We want to make sure that we can participate, and that is why you and I visited the Larnaca port a bit earlier, and thank you for also your explanations. So I just wanted to again reaffirm a very well felt thanks to all Cypriots. Nous allons continuer de participer à tous les efforts humanitaires possibles pour venir en aide aux Gazaouis, et ça inclut le corridor maritime. Et donc, c'est pourquoi j'ai visité le port de Larnaca un petit peu plus tôt aujourd'hui. Et donc, cette visite marque une nouvelle étape importante dans l'évolution des relations diplomatiques entre le Canada et Chypre. J'espère poursuivre l'étroite collaboration entre nos pays. Indeed, this is an important visit for us. I hope also for you, and looking forward to having more conversations throughout the evening with you. Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much.
A couple of questions real quickly about Canada's role. Perhaps if you could give us an idea of the contribution that Canada could make to the Amalfi Plan in financial terms or in humanitarian aid terms.
Yeah, thank you. So we've already given $1 million to the UN in this context. That money was used to buy scanners and different equipment, which is key to make sure that the maritime corridor is successful. And we want to do more. And so we looked at also other ways for Canada to be able to contribute. And I'll have more to say in the coming weeks on that.
Scanners for security screening?
Exactly.
Is there anything new on the plan that you want to share? The Amalfi Plan, is there anything coming up in the future?
That I want to share or that I have to share? Look, there is there's considerable progress. From our part, everything is ready. Everything has been according to the protocols that we have in place. You know that the American construction is basically ready to be installed. There was some weather issues in the last few days, but we hope that within the next few days all these issues would be basically resolved, and we would be able to make use for the first time of the American construction. And that would be extremely important in terms of the capacity that we would be having to send aid there in terms of reception, distribution, monitoring, the whole thing. So it's a very important few days that we have ahead of us, and we are working closely with all our partners in trying to make sure that everything goes according to plan. And I would like to thank also all the countries that have been supporting in all this, whether in ways that are visible or less visible, but the support has been there, and we are hoping that we would be contributing, at least in the way we can, for the people in Gaza and the suffering that they are actually having to go through. Thank you.